Everyone, it's Epic Underworlds, and in this video, it's going to be more of a podcast style video where I just kind of talk about art, physical things, and TCGs. So I was talking to my friend the other day, and we were really contemplating, why is it that in this age of all this instant gratification, like TVs, movies, where it all lays out everything, like music on Spotify, you have access to every song, why is it that we still return to reading books, getting physical art, getting CDs and vinyl, and being attached to those materialistic things? And it came down to the point where I think it's just about experience. You can experience a movie and have it all laid out for you perfectly. All you have to do is use your eyes. You can just shut off your brain if you want. Whereas if you read a book, your imagination has to build the landscape of the words. Like the words translate into your mind and build a dreamscape for you to experience. And I think that's a little bit more rewarding. That's why, a lot of people don't like reading books these days because it's not instant. You have to actually work for it. But it's so much more rewarding because it's got more value because you put more into it. Like, I remember when I read the book Fairy Tale by Stephen King. That was like the first book I actually read when I was trying to get more into reading. And I was enthralled in that book. Like, the amount of stuff I had envisioned in my mind while reading it was crazy. I loved it. And, do you ever just, before you go to bed, create your own story and kind of play it out in your own little movie? And honestly, I think you should try doing that. And if you can't, maybe read more, maybe build more of an imagination, because it's really fun escaping and building your own world. Like, that's kind of how Trapped in Dreamland TCG was made. It was a thought I had before I went to bed and while I was in the shower, and then I kind of played it out in a story, and then I wrote that down, and that turned into the lore of the game. Because you're the one that has to set all the scenes, paint the landscapes, and do all the work, and it becomes yours. Although an author wrote this book, well, this is kind of another example would be Fairy Tale, for example. Stephen King wrote that book, but the experience is yours. Whereas I just feel like when you're watching a movie, a lot of those visuals and things that you would conjure are taken away from you and given visual to by directors and actors. And it kind of takes away from how you envision it. Like, let's say there was a crying scene in a movie and the actor maybe didn't perform it that well. Whereas if it was in your head, you could make it perfect. It's just better, in my opinion. I'm not dissing movies. Movies are fantastic. I love watching movies. I'm just saying, books have a big appeal. And then that comes to art. Why is it that I don't have AI art hanging on my wall, or none of my friends do? Well, because there's no value in that, in my opinion. The reason I like getting actual physical art and collecting trading card games that have hand-drawn art is because it takes so much more time. The artist gets to put their expression, their feeling, their moods, their thoughts, and their practice into each card. Those emotions in the moment of making that card are captured. Whereas AI is just a program that kind of spits out art. That's I just honestly hate AI art, no offense. Because I think even after technology is even bigger, people are still going to be even more attracted to the physical things. AI can write a book, but the author also comes with the book too, There's that personality that is important too. Because do you ever look at artists like Van Gogh or Salvador Dali and wonder why they were so popular? Yeah, they had amazing arts. Or Basquiat. They had amazing art, but they also had a personality to go with that art, and a lot of that personality helped their career. Van Gogh was known as the troubled artist, and people really flocked to that, and they appreciated his paintings too. So it's not just the medium itself, it's the medium and the person who creates it. And when AI is creating the material, some people might not like the fact that a robot is making art because they don't maybe not like the person, because the robot doesn't really have personality, whereas a person does, and they can attract to that. So that's kind of what me and my friend were talking about the other day. So I recommend, get some manga, get some books, start reading, build your imagination. And if you don't have any money, just sleep, and before you go to bed, envision a story, build your own dreamscape, whatever world you want to build, and then maybe write it down or put it into art. And that goes to TCGs. Oh my goodness, I want it. I want this to be so huge in TCGs because like I love trading card games, but the reason I mainly got into them was because I wanted to make them different. Like I wanted to change the world of TCGs, which is a big ask, but that's what motivates me to keep making card games. Like I just think so many card games are really cool. I don't want to try to diss, indie TCGs or HTCGs or anything. There's so many good games. I'm just saying what I would really like to see and what I haven't really been seeing much at all is a TCG that doesn't really try to appeal to the majority. It appeals to a story. For my TCG, I'm making a book, and I don't care if that book spawns a niche community of people that like the story. The people who actually like that story are going to be so enthralled because this world is so rich. Whereas a person that just makes a set of 100 artworks that doesn't really have much of a story or a message, a lot of the artworks will appeal to people because they're cool, but like that's just surface level stuff. There's nothing deeper. There's no world to escape to, like when you're reading a book. Because a book or a comic or a manga uses art, like for comics, but it also gives the words. And those two mediums collide to make something amazing. So don't just think of your TCG as a trading card game. Think of it as your own little expression that you're trying to build. Or in other words, maybe your own little world that you're trying to build. Something that you want to create that isn't here on Earth. So that's what I meant. Like if you have this dream or this like world that you've been thinking about, make it, turn that dream into reality. And then others can go into your dream or your card game and experience it. It's not just the game that they experience it. It's the world, it's the characters, it's the art. It's everything else that comes along with it. So that's what I really want to see more in TCGs. I don't want to just see like a set of cards. I want there to be meaning and deeper lore behind those cards. Like a good example of this, Skyscape, TCG. He makes the point of his game story first. You should still make a good game, but also make sure to focus on story, or at least some other aspect other than just gameplay. Because if you only have just gameplay, or just art, or just lore, it's not appealing to as many people. I mean, unless that's just what you really want to focus on. But then again, if you just want to focus on art, you should probably just make art, not really a card game if you're not really too concerned with making a good game. I mean, unless you want to do that. Or like, if you're just into game design, just focus on making a really good game. And then you can like hire artists or something. So, I don't know. This is a really good discussion I think a lot of people can have in the comments section down below. Just let me know your thoughts and why people appreciate physical things also too, and what I just said about card games. And that goes like to music too. Why is it that I find collecting CDs so much more rewarding than using Spotify? Because Spotify, you can get everything instantly, whereas CDs, you gotta appreciate the album. You got like the little story booklet that comes within each album, and you have to physically take it out and put it in the CD player, and it's so much better in my opinion. And you can actually like see the things there. They're not just on like an app or anything. You can actually visualize them. So yeah, that was this video. Kind of, I don't know, I just kind of like, people said they want me to make more podcast vlog style videos, so that's exactly what I did for this one. But thank you for watching this. Let me know if you want to see more podcast videos, and if you do, let me know what you want to see them about. I can talk about TCGs or art all day, every day, so let me know what you want to see, and I'll try to make a video about it. But yeah, that was this one, and see you in the next one. Bye.